Hey friends, I used the reMarkable for a year, and in this video we'll go over if it's something you should consider getting. I know I thought a lot about it before I got one, and there wasn't any reviews that were useful. So if you're considering getting a reMarkable, keep watching and maybe I'll help you make your mind up. Okay, so first thing, I'm not a professional. I haven't really done this before, so you're not going to get some super pro review here. It's just me telling you how I use it and what I get out of it. Yeah. The first thing is the size of this thing. So it's a little bit smaller than an A4 sheet of paper. It's quite light. And it's quite thin, really thin. I've got an iPad and this thing feels lighter than an iPad. It even feels sturdier. Also, the screen isn't like glass and the glare on it isn't matte. So it's got a good feel to it. Buttons wise, it's got just this one button over here to go on and the same button to go off, and it's got a charging port here, a USB-C charging port, and these magnetic things which I think are for their keyboard. I don't actually know because I haven't got one. I don't know why you would get one, because this is good for writing, taking notes. That's what I use it for. Okay, so let's get to how it is to actually use one of these things. I got one of these because I use a million notebooks, or I should say I used to use a million notebooks. And then I thought, wouldn't it be cool to get something that organizes all my notes in one place with a simple folder system? And I thought, well, I could get a reMarkable, but I could also get an iPad, which does 10,000 other things. And so I got an iPad. Don't do that. That was a bad decision. If you're thinking, I want something where I can write better with less distractions and just start writing with as little friction as necessary, get one of these. I got the iPad thinking, well, I'll be able to write, but I'll also be able to do all these other things, watch videos while I'm traveling and use fancy apps. The truth is, it was an expensive mistake. I got the iPad and did a lot less writing and did a lot more distracting. 6 months later, I got one of these. And surprise, surprise, I was writing a lot more, and I was writing better a lot more intentionally, more often. So yeah, if you're like me and you're thinking, oh, should I get an iPad or should I get one of these? Go back to why you really want to get one. And if you want to write without distractions and you want to be more present with your writing, but notebooks don't work because you end up with too many of them, like I did, then get one of these. I used to have about 10 notebooks, all of them about a third full, and I would keep switching from one to the other because I had categories that only worked in my head, and as soon as I actually went to write, they didn't work. I kept thinking, oh, should I write this in this journal or should I write it in that journal? And sometimes after I'd done writing something, I was like, oh, I've already written about this in that other journal. That still happens, but now I can just copy the pages from one file to another. The storage system in this is just like a computer. There's folders and you can have notebooks in folders. You can also read PDFs, which is quite cool and you can underline and annotate them. I don't use that feature as much. I thought I would when I got it, but I don't because the screen's just a tiny bit smaller than what would be comfortable for a PDF. So unless you have PDFs with like slightly big text size, or your eyes are really comfortable reading small text, this isn't great for that. But it's workable. You can work around it. It's just not as frictionless as I'd like it to be. Okay, one of the great things about how this works is as soon as you turn it on, you're in your document. Let me do that again. I turn it on and you're writing, okay? So this is me writing. Turn it off, go to sleep, come back to my writing. And this is me writing again. Isn't that cool? I love that. This is something that really helps not get distracted. There's no notification, there's no mail, there's no Instagram notification I need to check. Switch it on, straight in. It's also got a few handy shortcuts where you can do this from the top, and it kind of takes you to where all your folders are and where all your files are, and you can just click on the daily planner and keep writing. So it's quite cool for just picking up, starting to write. I love that about this. It's also really great to use from a feel point of view. This thing, it doesn't feel like glass. It feels nice to write on. This pencil or pen is also really great. You can pick all sorts of brushes and pencils. I don't normally use those. I just use the fine liner because I use it to journal. But if you're an artist and you want to shade and stuff, it seems pretty good. And whereas writing with a fine liner goes, that's really good. It also does handwriting to printed typed text, and that's really good too. That's something I rarely use, but every time I've used it, it's been pretty good. Another unexpected thing for me was using this with its desktop app to do like a live screen share. It works really well. So if I'm on a video call with someone, I can share my screen on my desktop, use the reMarkable, and it just projects what's on here on the screen. So if someone on the video call with me is looking at my screen, they can see exactly what I'm writing. And this is phenomenal. I'm an engineer and I work with some other engineers. It's really, really good to be able to draw something, like even roughly, and just sketch out, okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. And it's not possible to do that with a mouse as easily as it is to do it on something that feels like paper. And it works really well, this screen share, because it's so simple, it's really fast, it's really responsive, and you can write stuff and rub stuff out really well. So now the cons. The most obvious one, this thing costs a lot. It's about $500. These things don't come cheap. These things are expensive. And if you want to buy the pencil, which you kind of have to buy, and you want the one with eraser at the back, it's about $100. And then if you want like a protective sleeve, that's about $50 or $100 depending on which one you get. So it does add up. It is quite expensive. And at the end of the day, you are replacing things that are cheap. Notebooks and pens, right? Those are like $10, $50 for 5 years worth, right? Even if it's 10 notebooks, it's not going to cost as much as this. I bought mine secondhand, so consider doing that to save money. Also, there's pencils like this that you can buy on Amazon that work just as well. One of my friends got one of these for less than half the price on Amazon. Works great. Also, the sleeve. I got one of these sleeves. I don't really use it because most of the time, this guy, I use him at home. So I'm pretty careful with him and I haven't needed a sleeve. The odd time I do take it to the office, I take it in my laptop bag and it's got a slot to keep a tablet in, so I just keep this there. So think about how you're gonna use it and save yourself some cash. Don't get the sleeve if you don't need to get it. So yeah, that's how I made it cheap after paying for an iPad. Okay, that's my review of this product. It's great. I think a reMarkable is pretty cool to have if you're looking for a way to organize your thoughts, organize your writing in a simple, friction-free way. And besides the cost, there's really no downside. It's pretty cool. It does a great screen share, which works in Teams calls and Zoom calls to share what you're drawing with people you're working with. If you like what you see and want to see more videos, click on this link over here to keep watching. Drop me a comment about absolutely anything. I read them all, so it'll be good to hear from you. And subscribe and like the video to show your love. Thanks for watching.